This is the place where we stopped in our previous video, and I will continue from this point onwards. Now let's go to this particular link. Inheritance in C#.NET. I'm going to discuss inheritance. Okay. Another important concept in object-oriented programming is inheritance. Okay, it's easier to show you what inheritance is through programming examples rather than explaining words. But essentially, inheritance is creating one class from another. Okay, inheritance means we use another class to create a class. Okay, something like that. The parent class is the main one, and you create a child class that does similar but slightly different things. That means you have a particular class. From that class you create another class. The original class, we call it the parent, and the new class we create, we call it the child. Okay, inheritance is something like that. Later you will understand it deeply. Let's see if we can't make things clearer with the programming example. Take a look at the new version of our happy birthday class. It's been stripped down. We've missed out the using statements and name space from the top. Okay, so here the class. Okay, now you can see this is the happy birthday class. Now we have a string. Okay, then two strings are there. Then this is a constructor. Now you can see this is a method. Okay, and this is also a method. We've deleted the properties and now have just two public methods. The default constructor is still there, though it's just set some default text for the two variables. Okay, and now let's go to our previous work we were doing in our previous video. There, let's move to the happybirthday.cs file. There I'm going to modify it according to what's mentioned in this web page. Okay, so here let's empty this. Now let's modify it accordingly. We need two fields: private string birthday message, the one field string, another field private string present string. Okay, two fields are there. Then we create the constructor. The name is exactly same as the class name, happy birthday. We create a constructor. That means we are going to include the constructor to our class. That means the compiler will not create the default constructor. Present string number of presents birthday message happy birthday. Okay, that's all for the constructor. Then let's move to the next line of code. We have to create a method that is public is the access modifier. That means from anywhere this method can be accessed. This is the return type. Then any name we could have given. Let's give this name, get message. Single parameter of type is string. Given name. Here we return birthday message and then we append given name to it. Okay. Another method we create public string get presents. Yes. Int. Okay, here int. Present string. So to the present string we append number of presents, then we convert it to string, return present string. Usually as a convention the method names are capital. Method name starts with capital letters in C#, because you already know that main method in C# M is capital, but in this website there is a small mistake, but don't worry, that is not a rule. Okay, that is just a convention. In C# method names start with capital letters. That is just a convention. Okay, then inheritance is creating a child class from this parent. Now let's consider this particular class. Okay, now therefore this is going to be the parent. From this class we are going to create a child class. Now this is the code. So what we want to do is to create another class called birthday party, because the two are related, we can use inheritance. This means that we don't have to start all over again. We can just reuse happy birthday class. For example, suppose we wanted to display the message, display the following message. Suppose we want to display this message: happy birthday Shahid, you have 8 presents, enjoy your party. Okay, something like that we need. So if you consider this class, here we have using this method you can get happy birthday Shahid. Okay, after passing name, then using this one you can get number of presents. Okay, So if you want to create the child class, now let's move on. We can get the first two message from the base class happy birthday, but we can get the final message from the new class. Okay, new class birthday party. Birthdays and parties are closely related, but we want to keep one separate from the other. We could then add more information about the party, number of guests, location, time, etc. But we would add this to the derived class instead of the base class. Okay. You can add this new derived class to the one you already have. You add it outside of the happy birthday class, but before the final curly brackets of your name space, you can also click project add class again to give you a separate class file in the Solution Explorer. Then you type out the code for your class in the usual way. Okay, then here you move to, now don't worry about what I have discussed here. Okay, using the code I will explain, then everything will be clear to you. So you simply go to project and then add class. The name of the class, let's give this birthday party.cs. birthday party.cs. Okay, this is our class. Now once you have added it, you can see namespace classes 1. This is also inside the namespace classes 1. That is because this is our project. Okay, both of the classes are inside our project, and if you go to here, you can see birthday party.cs class. Okay, now if you are adding a new class, then you need the namespace at the top, but you don't necessarily need any using statement, so you do this. Now here let's inherit from happy birthday class. Okay, now here the meaning of this one, this is the symbol we use for inheritance in C#. From the happy birthday class we inherit birthday party class. That means happy birthday class is the parent class, birthday party class is the child class. The meaning of this one is all the members in happy birthday class will be available inside the birthday party class. That means now if you go here, you can see the members. Okay, two fields are there, a constructor is there, two methods are there. All these things will be available inside birthday party. They are invisible, but they are available. Okay, that is the meaning of inheritance. All, the word all is important. All the members of the parent class will be available inside the birthday party class. That means child class in invisible form. You cannot see, but they are still there. Okay, now Not the first line from the derived class, this one. You start by typing the word class followed by a space. You then need to come up with the name for your new class. Okay, here actually you can give any name. In this situation we have given birthday party, the name. We called ours birthday party because we want to use some of the code from the base class. Okay, this class is called parent class and this class is called the child class. That means all the members of the parent will be available to the child. Okay, inheritance, the usual term, the meaning of usual term inheritance, you know. Okay, inheriting from the parents. Okay, now here so to specify that this is a derived class, you type colon, after then you type the name of the base class. And one thing is we say parent and child, or the base class and derived class. Those are the terms we use. We say parent and child, or else we say base class and derived class. Okay, the only other thing that's different is this one. This is we create a constructor. Okay, we create a constructor, then we add this part. Let's see, we are setting up a default constructor called birthday party, the same name as the new class. This is where you can set up variables for this particular class, but this constructor knows nothing about the code of its parent class happy birthday. To tell it to run the code for the parent constructor as well, we have this. Now if you now you know that if you do not specify include a constructor, then due to inheritance we have already received this particular constructor in invisible form to our class. Here what we want to do is birthday party from the base class, the constructor of the base class, we put it like this. Okay, we put it like this. Now you can see here I have missed parenthesis. Now the meaning of this one is, now the members inside the constructor of the parent class will be available to our constructor. Okay, meaning of this one is like that. When the program runs, C# will initialize variables for the new derived class as well as variables in the base class. Okay, here is some code that uses both classes. This is from button on a form. Okay, let's remove this and then birthday party from the birthday party class, party on new birthday party party on. This is the variable. Okay, so we create an object from birthday party class. Now in a message box we try to display. We use the party on reference variable, then get message Shahid. Okay, then when you run this you can see an error. What is the problem? Okay. Let's remove the body. This is from our earlier project. No, okay, now it's okay. Happy birthday Shahid. That means now if you look at this, we created an object from our birthday party class. There we do not find a method. Actually, we have not written a method called get message. Instead, what we have done is, from happy birthday class we have inherited. That means inside happy birthday class we have this method. No, therefore it will be available inside this class. That is why we could invoke it like this: party on get message, then in the parameter we pass given name and it will be returned. Okay, so that's what we have seen. Then the other method, you in the same way you can include. Now here we have get presents method, that is also available here in invisible form. Therefore we can use it in this way. Message box dot show party on dot get presents. We pass 8. Okay, to the get presents method. Now you can see it here. We pass the number, then it will show you number of presents 8. Okay, so now let's see. Now first message from this one, the second message from this one. Again we can message box dot show party on dot get party. Sorry, there we cannot find yes. Okay, we have to include that one. Now these two methods actually we inherited from the parent class. Now if we need, we can add our own another method to the child class. A string get party have party, and then here you if have party variable is true, then what should we do? We return enjoy your party. Sorry, no party for you. Okay, in this way you can include your own another method. In addition to the inherited methods, now you have this one as well. Here we can invoke that method message box dot show party on dot get party. Here if we pass here we can pass true or false. Let's pass true there. Then when you run your program, okay, likewise you will see okay. Then the other thing I want to tell you now, again I will summarize what we have discussed so far. Then we have this particular class. Okay, we had a class, the name was happy birthday. Okay, there we had two fields, a constructor, okay, a constructor, then two methods. Okay, now we need to create another class that should contain all the members of this class, and also we need to add new members as well. Okay, that is just we need an expansion to this class. That this can be done using inheritance. Okay, that means now here this is our new class, and using this colon symbol we can inherit from the happy birthday class. That means all the members of the happy birthday class will be available to birthday party class in invisible form. That means all these members will be available here, but they are not visible here, but they are available just like the default constructor. Okay, default constructor, I have already discussed about the default constructor, that is also available but invisible. Okay, now here we include our own constructor here, but let's say we want to get all the lines of code inside our parent classes constructor. Then there we can use this one, base. Base means here the constructor of happy birthday class. That means all the members inside the happy birthday constructor will be available to this constructor in invisible form. Okay, in invisible form. Understood? Now this is the place where we stopped. We created a new birthday party object and called it party on. Then comes 3 message boxes. The first 2 call the methods from the happy birthday class. The final one calls the method from the derived class, which is a birthday party. Study the code and see how it works. Create a new project and try it out. Inheritance, we have already done that. Okay, this one. Inheritance can get very tricky, and it's difficult to know what to put into the base class and what to put in the derived class, but it's usual to create a base class that holds general information and a derived class that contains more information. Okay, something like this, because if it is a company parent class, we call, let's say it's person, then from the person class we can create employee class, that is a child of our person class. Then customer class, that is a child of our person class. In that way, in the person class we can include general information like name for an employee or a customer. Both of them have names. Okay, so name can be included as a field to the person class. Okay, likewise age attribute, then display method, those things can be included inside the person class. Okay, that inheritance is something like that. It simplifies our modeling process. Okay, for example, you might have an automobile class as the base class. A car class and a motorbike class could then be derived from automobile. Okay, that is another example. In the next lesson, we'll take a look at method overloading. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Method overloading in C#.NET. Something else that you can do with classes is called method overloading. This is when you want a slightly different version of a method. It's part of another object-oriented concept called polymorphism. There are object-oriented concepts. One thing, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. Okay, likewise there are 4 principles in object-oriented programming. So watch the videos related to Java object-oriented programming. Then you will properly understand those concepts. As an example, take the method in our derived class, this one. Okay, consider this method. All this is to return a string depending on whether have party variable is true or false. But what if you wanted a different version of the message? If you wanted to add the person's name as well, for example, that's where method overloading comes in. The easiest way to do is to simply copy and paste the method you have. To overload it, just add more parameters. Compare this version of the get party method. Okay. In between the round brackets get party, we added the second parameter string a name. When we come to use our get party method from the button, look what happens. It says one overload. The method is showing up on the IntelliSense list. The tooltip is telling us that the method has one overload. Okay, now let's include here okay, in this way we can create another method. Now you can see these two methods have the same name. Okay, but you can see the parameter lists are different. So in C programming you cannot create two functions with the same name. It is not allowed by the C# compiler. But in C# it's possible. We can create any number of methods with the same name, but in order to distinguish them, the parameter list should be different. Okay, parameter list should be different. In between the round brackets of get party, we added a second parameter, and in the method body, the message that gets returned is slightly different. When we come to use our get party method from the button, look what happens. Okay, so here then let's go to our button and sorry, message box dot show party on dot get get party. Now here you can see one overload, what to use. Okay, here this version or this version. Okay, now let's use the second version, false. Let's put the same name, Shahid. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so closing, yes, parenthesis is missing. Likewise, you can see happy birthday Sahid, number of presents, enjoy your party. Then next one, here you can see the invocation of get party method with two parameters. Okay, now I hope method overloading is clear to you. The method is showing up on the IntelliSense list. The tooltip is telling, this is a tooltip, is telling us that the method has one overload. As soon as you type the first round bracket, the method options, the overload show up. In between the up and down arrows, it says one of two. This means that there are two versions of the get party method. Press the down arrow to see the second one. Okay, the first version is our original one. To overload Shadiano, first version is our original one with one argument. The second version is the new one with two arguments. When you overload a method, it takes the same return type, public string, public int, public float. It's the parameters in between the round brackets that change. Okay, when you overload a method, you have to keep remember that the return types are the same. Only thing is parameter list are changed. Okay, in the second version of our method, first parameter is a bool and the second parameter is a string, but you could have this instead. Okay, in this way also you could have overloaded it. Okay, then let's say if we include another overloading, public in this way we can let's say string for the time being. Let's sorry, for this time, let's for the time being I return just this one. Okay, test string for time being. Then if I go here, Now here, if I go here, then message box dot show party on dot get party. You can see three overloads, 1 2 3. Okay, 1 2 3. Okay, likewise if you put a string here, okay, then you will see okay. Test. Understood? Now you can, I hope now you can properly understand method loading. So we still have one parameters, but the type of the variable is a string instead of a bool. This is enough to set up a third overloaded method. That means different parameter list means even we have one parameter of bool type and string type. Then that difference makes the different parameter list. That's what I wanted to emphasize here. We now have 2 of 3 between up and down arrows. Our new overloaded method has been added to the list. Overloading can come in very handy if you want slight different versions of a method. Just change the parameter list. Okay, just change the parameter list. Okay, before we leave classes, we'll examine a simpler way to create classes. It's not recommended that you create all your classes like this. So in the final part of this section, we'll take a look at static methods. Now let's move to the next section. Here we discuss about static methods in C#.NET. Now we have already discussed about methods. Okay, what we have used so far are instance methods. Instance methods. Here we have not used static keyword. That means the these methods, this one, okay, these methods methods are called instance methods. But if you look at if you look at the main method inside our program class, now you can see here static keyword is there. That means it is a static method. Now you know you have already used one static method, that is called main method, that inbuilt method. Now let's see how we can create our own static methods. If all you want is an easy way to set up a few months and call them at will, you can set up a class filled with public static methods. Sorry, not months. If you want, if all you want is an easy way to set up a few methods and call them at will, you can set up a class filled with public static methods. Okay, static methods don't need an object, so you don't do this to create them. Okay, so in order to invoke a static method, you do not need an object. Okay, but in earlier time, when we invoke our methods, for an example our get party method, we always invoke it with respect to an object. But for the static methods, we do not need an object. Instead you just call them when needed. Let's see how. From the C sharp menu bar at the top. Click project add class. Call your new class stats. Type the following. Code between the curly brackets of your new class. Let's add a new class to our project. Build add class. Let's give some name is stats, so something like any name, okay, any suitable name is stats.cs. Now this is our class. We had a method like this. Public access modifier static int add up. We pass two parameters, int num1 comma int num2. Okay, add up. We have included a method that will takes two integer values and return the sum of them. Okay, the only thing here that's different from a normal method is the use of the word static. Not that it comes after public but before int. So the location is important. Before the data type, between the access modifier and the data type, you have to put it. You can use any of the other variables variables types as well, such as static string, static bool, etc. Add a button to your form and double click to get at the code. To use the static method in your class, the syntax is that. Anyway, we are using our previous project, so let's code the button 2 accordingly. Okay. You can access static method using class name dot. Earlier time instance methods we accessed using object reference dot, but these static methods can be accessed using class name dot. Because it's a static method, you don't have to go to the bother of setting up a new object. Your method will be available straight away. Add the following code to your button to try it out. So now here a string nine. Okay, 5 plus 4. Now the class stat will appear on the IntelliSense menu without you having to do anything else. And when you type a dot after your class name, the static method will appear on the list. There is an awful lot to static members, obviously. For example, you can create static field, static properties, and even static constructors. But if you want a class field with methods that you want quick access to, then just use the static methods. Okay, that's we leave classes now and move on. But if you want to get grips on with C#.NET, especially if you want a career as a programmer, then classes are something you need to study. Okay, so we stop the discussion of classes at this level. Okay, but the concept is very important. One thing is, in this course you will learn about design patterns in C#. There we will use the classes heavily, and then you will get a sound understanding about how to manipulate classes and work with them. Okay, and that's about classes and objects section. This is the last video of that section, and thank you for watching.